Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Kiers Reviews podcast. This is Kiers Reviews, and once again, I am joined by Nick's Film Reviews.
Yeah.
We're back for episode 4, which is quite good. Unfortunately, we're not able to put this episode on Spotify at all because it's just we're waiting for our renewal for the new month. So thankfully for our YouTube listeners, you will still be able to hear this episode. Hopefully next week we get a renewal and can go in deep depth with other topics and things that we want to talk about. So today we're going to talk about Film Club. Now, this is something I touched on last week's episode, just very, very briefly. I mentioned it to give you all a bit of a context. I run a film club at school back when school was in person, and all of us we just talk about movies. We talk about movie news, trailers, that kind of thing. It was basically just a weekly thing that we'd all do at lunchtime just to have a bit of fun and just talk about our own interests and love for film. And Nick and I both go to them. I run them now. I've run them for about 3 years now. So next year will be my last and my 4th year running Film Club. So yeah, Nick, do you remember anything about in-person Film Club? Do you remember your first Film Club time or anything like that?
I don't remember what the first one I went to was about, but I do remember it took me a few weeks to actually get into it because I went once and it was fun, but I never got notices on when it was on, so I kept forgetting, but then eventually I caught up with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, now I try my best to get on time every week.
Yeah, because we don't, now that we've been in lockdown for over a year now, but I was thinking about what we'd do if we went back in person, but that doesn't look like that's going to happen this year. But with the whole online thing, we've kind of differed away from what we're doing with Film Club and talking about that kind of thing. We just talk about just random stuff now. But there is something that I implemented last year, and we have a teacher that overlooks the Film Club and stuff and makes sure that we're
awesome teacher, by the way.
Awesome teacher. Yeah, I can't mention his name because I haven't got permission, but I don't know. He's a good bloke, and you know who you are. You're listening at the moment. If you're listening,
hey sir, what's up?
What's up, sir? And actually, this teacher has been providing us with a lot of really awesome information, according to the topics that will be coming up on the Spotify podcast either next week or the week after. So he's phenomenal with that kind of thing. So yeah, we really appreciate him, and he's a good friend as much as he's an awesome teacher. But last year I was telling him about potentially how we would move Film Club from in-person to a lockdown setting. And I came up with a thing called Film Club Movie Nights, which is basically every Friday night we watch a movie on Netflix and we try to, recommend a movie. So there's a group of about 7, 8 of us. Is it, Nick? I don't know. How many people are there?
Usually, I think we usually get a usual number of 5, including me. Or 6, no,
probably
6.
more than that. Yeah, probably about 6
or 7. We started off on 7, I'm pretty sure, but we've made our way to about 6 people, including me.
Got it's quite decent because this is this Friday coming up, which is tomorrow. I think it's our 63rd consecutive week watching a movie every Friday night. So we do it throughout the holidays. We do it throughout really anything. And we all get a turn to choose our movie and then we want to show. So we do it in rounds. So then everyone that shows up get to, a decent, shot at choosing a movie. Nick, do you remember the movies that you've chosen over the whole thing?
Yeah, I remember all of them.
Which one was do you want to name some of them?
Yeah, my first choice was Big, starring Tom Hanks, which is one of my favorite comedies from when I was younger. Second choice was 12 Angry Men, which is just a great film in cinema.
Yes.
Round 3, I chose what is currently my favorite movie of all time, The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
I love that movie. I can't wait to see.
I know, I love it too.
Apparently it's a book as well, so I need to buy the book and read it.
Yeah, I want to read the book. Round 4 was Jojo Rabbit, which is another great movie.
Yep.
Round 5 was Green Book,
which
is I reckon it's a great movie. Round 6 was Arrival. It's directed by, I can't pronounce his name still,
Denis
Denis
Villeneuve.
Villeneuve, yeah,
Yeah.
great director. Round 7, I chose The King of Comedy, which was a first time watch.
Yes.
And yeah, I really liked it a lot.
Yep.
And then round 8, I chose In the Heights, which I think is a bit underrated. And then this current round, I've chosen Speed, starring Keanu Reeves, as it's not like a 10 out of 10 for me, but
It's still a
I would
really
say it's
decent
one of my
movie.
favorite action movies just because of its concept.
Yeah. Because I, booted it up at the start of lockdown last year. So that was about what, March, April, probably April by the time we started getting into things last year. I had to choose a movie just on Netflix that we all could access. And first one we did was Ready Player One. And that turned out to be quite a huge hit. We got about 13 people, I think, in for that session. So it was quite packed. But now we're down to people that actually just want to connect and just chat, every Friday night, which is absolutely fine. But yeah, for round 1, I chose Ready Player One as just a start off. And then round 2, I chose Hamilton because I love Hamilton and it's just incredible. And I kind of knew that nobody else would have watched it by that point. So I thought, why not? Round 3, I chose The Social Network. That was actually for my birthday last year, which most people know, was when I got diagnosed with leukemia. And I talked about that in my Happier Than Ever review, which has actually turned out as a resounding success, which is fantastic. But yeah, I wasn't able to attend that one, unfortunately. But I heard a lot of people really enjoyed it. Round 4, I chose The Peanut Butter Falcon. Didn't get to watch that one either with everybody, but from what I heard, people quite liked it, which was nice. Round 5, I came back and was able to watch Sing Street, which is absolutely one of my favorite movies ever. That will be, speaking of Sing Street, I completely forgot that I didn't announce this. My 100th review will be coming up probably next week on YouTube, and it will be on Sing Street, which is a favorite movie of mine that not many people really know about.
Your favorite movie.
It was once my favorite movie, and it was my favorite movie for a long, long time. I think it's probably the third most movie that I've watched the most. The first was the original Suicide Squad, and then
I think first is Rocket Man.
Second was Rocket Man, and then third is Sing Street, probably, because I watched Suicide Squad 200 times when I was in year 7. I watched it every day, so I'm a bit obsessed. I'm just going to say I don't share those same opinions as I do now. Round 6, I chose Our Friend. Our Friend is a movie that really divided people in film club. It was a movie on Amazon Prime, and that was the one time that we went on to Amazon Prime. And we watched that, and that was a really emotional movie, I think, for all of us. I think it was really well acted.
It was great.
Yeah, because it's oh gosh, I'm blanking on the names. Jason Segel, I think. Jason.
It was the first time I saw him in a role that was like not a joke.
Yeah,
so I was very impressed by him.
Pretty serious. Like he could do the comedy, but he also was very, very serious actor. And I love it when comedians do that kind of serious acting. Dakota Johnson was also in it, who I absolutely love. But the best thing about that movie, I think, is going in completely blind. If you have no idea what it's about, don't go look it up. Don't try and figure it out. I think just watch it. It was one of my favorite films this year so far. Round 7 was Chef, which is just a perfect movie. It's such a good movie. If you haven't seen Chef, I really suggest it. Walk the Line, I chose more recently, and that did quite well. That got, I think, an average of 9.2 across the guys. I think that was a pretty good choice. And then coming up, I've changed my movie from La La Land to About Time, which is a movie with Rachel McAdams and Margot Robbie. So I'm very excited to show everyone that. But I think what is your favorite choice been that you've chosen for film club? Not personally as an opinion, but I mean more the overall reaction to it. What was your favorite, choice?
Well, Perks of Being a Wallflower, obviously, but that's because I was surprised. I think every majority of the people that night gave it a 10 out of 10, and it earned the top spot. It earned the number one spot of the highest rating.
I think it's either
It's stuck
second
like
or
that for a
third
long
highest
time.
rating. Yeah, it was number one for a long time.
It was number one for a long time, but then a very nostalgic movie came along and bumped that to spot two.
Yeah, but the Perks of Being a Wallflower is such a personal movie. Doesn't matter what kind of situation you're in. Everyone has their hardships, I guess, and I feel like that movie is one that shows it in a way that doesn't feel too confronting. It feels more realistic, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I think that's a movie that I'll always go back to, and I think that's the same. That would that be the same for you?
Yeah. I want to
Yeah,
watch it at least twice every year.
yeah. It's one of those movies that you can go, you know what? I'm in a bit
Yeah,
of a,
just chill.
yeah, just chill and watch it. It's not too heavy, but it's still really good.
Just very, yeah.
Um, I don't know what my choice is for my favorite one. I'm just telling probably Our Friend because it really, gave people a very big perspective on things. But I think overall, as a film club thing, my favorite experience is when we watched A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood with Tom Hanks. I think that was one of the most eye-opening experiences I've ever had with a film because I'd seen it a couple of times
Yeah.
before, but this time I think was my favorite because it emotionally hit everybody. Like everyone was affected by it. And I
Yeah,
think that sorry, Nick, yeah, you go.
oh, none of you go.
Okay. Yeah. It just really people really opened up that night. And it was only our third movie. So it was our third week. And we were really getting to know each other. And now we all know each other so well. It was kind of good to have that film set the tone for that, for film club and how much it impacted everybody. Everyone I think cried or was
Yeah,
either cried or
yeah,
really close to cried.
yeah.
And there was one particular guy who opened up, and he's one of the toughest blokes I know. And he opened up about some personal things, and we all listened. We all showed respect to him, and I think I think I just showed that that movie specifically demonstrates the power of movies, and I think it can be for many different situations. But I genuinely think that A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood with Tom Hanks, if you haven't seen it, it's something spectacular. I think it's one of the best movies ever made. I truly do. Nick, what were you going to
Yeah, I
say?
remember.
I don't want to get
And
too
that's all right. I
emotional.
remember when I watched it that night, I remember bumping up my score from the last time I watched it. Because the first time I was like, yeah, it's a good movie, but then just the experience of my rewatch really bumped it up to it. I think it bumped it up to a 10 then.
Yeah, it was an experience that all of us really, really enjoyed. And it also was it made its impact and it worked that way, I guess. But
Yeah.
yeah. But we've I think probably the most exciting and most fun film club movie we chose was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I
Yeah.
think that was a lot of fun. Um, I'm trying to think of what else we've done in film club that's been pretty cool. Because I know that a friend of mine.
Uh
Oh, sorry, no, you have you got any ideas?
yeah, the 3 week Bill and Ted thing. Or no, 2 week. Where
Yeah,
first
that's
night we
true.
had a Bill and Ted double feature, and then next week we all watched for the first time
The
Face
third
the
one.
Music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us about that, Nick. Tell us about it.
Well, because it was a new release and no one had even seen it yet. So, because for all the other movies that we've voted, at least one or two people have seen before. So I thought it was really cool for us to all finally join and watch a movie that none of us had ever seen before. And it's a new release too, and a week after a double feature, which we hadn't ever done before. That was just really fun.
Yeah, I think because we watched Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, and I think that was a really late night. That ended up going till about like 11
Yeah,
o'clock. We were so
yeah,
tired after it.
I couldn't handle it. I had to leave. I got
Yeah,
so tired.
we got so tired because it was just such a long night. Because we usually start these movies around 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. Like these are quite late things. But they were good movies and they're really easy to watch. And then the following week, as Nick said, we watched Bill and Ted Face the Music. And we all ended up really enjoying it. Like it was a lot of fun. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed that. But are there any movies, because we have a huge thing as part of Film Club, because it is a school run thing, except for the one exception, which was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which we were all fine with. We all got permission to watch it. It was all right. we generally don't want to show MA 15 plus movies, and we definitely can't show R 18 plus movies. That's just the rule. So we usually try and get M rated or PG or G if we can. But I feel like with Film Club, that kind of limits us to what we can show and what we can, you know, choose as
Appreciate.
movies. Yeah, and appreciate.
Share our opinions on.
Yeah. So I was kind of thinking, Nick, what movies would you show Film Club if you got the chance and you had, there was no restriction apart from R 18? Let's just say the MA movies you'd show that you'd like to watch.
I would love to choose for one of them. I would love to choose Parasite. I'm not sure if we would be able to do it because of the subtitles and that, but I think that it's the perfect movie to really share with the club, because a lot of people choose not to care or watch foreign films just because of their subtitles. And I think that's a really lame excuse. So I think choosing that, since it's such a great film, it would really open their eyes to so many other great movies that are foreign.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be a good choice to really.
That's a good choice. Have you got any others?
I would love to choose The Big Lebowski, just because it's might just be my freaking favorite comedy ever. I love it so much.
That's a good choice.
For my next one, I watched this the other day, and it's a long movie, but I would love to choose Zodiac, because I watched it the other day. I loved it so much.
So underrated.
I know.
It's so good. Like that was the movie where I first checked. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But
no, sorry.
David Fincher used to be my favorite director for a very long time, and then I got more into Denis Villeneuve's films, and now he's my favorite. And it was Zodiac that made me go, oh, I wonder who directed this. I think I'd really like that. And then I clicked David Fincher, and then all these movies came up. It's like Gone Girl, Fight Club, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, those movies. I was like, I've seen so many of his movies, and I haven't even realized that it was all one person. And I remember just going, wow. And Seven, oh my God, Seven. Have you seen Seven?
Yeah. No, but for the past, since I watched Zodiac on the previous Saturday, and then on Monday I watched Gone Girl, and then yesterday I watched The Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
So I need to watch that.
Since Saturday, every 2 days I've kind of just like been more interested in David Fincher and been watching his movies. So tomorrow I'll watch Seven. Yeah,
Seven is just such a good. Well, tomorrow, wait, you're gonna do it because we're on holidays tomorrow?
Yeah,
fair enough. I was like, oh damn, ditching Film Club for David Fincher
during the day.
Yeah, because David Fincher did, just to remind everybody, Fight Club, Gone Girl, Social Network, Seven, Zodiac, Curious Case of Benjamin Button, which I am yet to see. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, I don't think I want to watch that because there's some real dark things I don't think I'd like to watch at all in the film. So I think that's one of the movies I'd love to watch, but because of a few scenes, I don't think I want to. Mank, which was very divisive in how it was received. The Game, Panic Room, and Alien 3, which is arguably... I don't think Alien 3 is a bad movie. It was his first, but I don't think it was terrible.
I didn't even know he directed Alien 3, but the first David Fincher movie I watched was The Game. And I'm not sure if I spoke to you about it outside of the podcast or during the podcast, but I said how it was, I'm assuming, a weekend or school holiday night.
Mm-hmm.
And it was getting late, and my parents told me, oh, there's this movie called The Game that's going to be on TV, and I think you should watch it. It's such a great movie. And I was like, okay, I might as well. And it's like 11, 10 o'clock at night. So I played on, and my eyes got glued to the screen for the entire time.
I was so really interested. Good?
I got so angry every time the ads would come on. And the movie went to, I think, 1 a.m, but it was worth it.
I was on the free-to-air TV.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it's not that long. It's only I think it's 2 hours and 9 minutes long, including credits.
Mm-hmm.
So I might choose. From what I remember, I don't think it's that gory, but I might choose that as one of my choices for film club nights.
Oh, knowing that, I might hold off on watching it until then, because
it's so good.
It's apparently really good. I know I've got Panic Room on DVD, so I haven't seen that yet.
Haven't seen that either.
Same with Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Oh,
That
how was
was
that one?
good.
I haven't seen that one.
I reckon it was good. One aspect of the story is a bit weird
Oh,
because
okay.
I love the concept of a man born old growing younger, but
Mhm.
there's just some stuff that it is a bit weird with what they do with the age. Some
Okay.
of the CGI,
Granted, it
it's
was
good, but
two
it does look. I know it's 2008, but it looked good, but some of it was a bit strange to look at, but it wasn't terrible.
Mm.
Brad Pitt was good, but I do feel like they spent um a bit too much of the runtime focusing on the protagonist when he was in his older age,
Okay.
because he doesn't get much time when he's like in his middle age. Majority of the movies him when he's like in his early life. But what I love about it is that because of the runtime, they really show his age well. In what I'm saying is that, like, for a lot of movies where they show scenes of people aging up, they really just skim over it. Like, they don't take a lot. They tend to
They
rush
don't
it.
focus. Yeah.
Yeah, and for this movie, it really spends a lot of time focusing on his age, and it makes me feel like, yeah, this is a real. It feels like an actual. You can feel how long his life actually is, and it's not like he's growing every day. He grows a year younger. Like, you can
Yeah.
feel the length of his life, and that's what I love so much about it.
Yeah. What about have you got any movies that you think would be too long that you would want to show film club?
Um,
Because I've got a couple in mind.
yeah, you say yours.
I've obviously Zack Snyder's Justice League, because that movie is
Oh
just,
yeah,
it's so good. I love it. Um, I think one I'd really want to show. I know a lot of people are very divisive. Like, this is probably one of the most divisive films, like, since The Last Jedi. And it's called Avatar. Not Avatar The Last. Okay, I'm doing my quick rant. There are two movies. Avatar, directed by James Cameron, which is completely different to The Last Airbender, which is that god awful movie by M. Night Shyamalan. Yes, The
that
Last
ruined that.
Airbender movie is
Disgrace.
based on the show that is called Avatar: The Last Airbender. So when I say I'm going to watch Avatar, I mean 2009 James Cameron, that's got nothing to do with anything. They have three distinct titles. If I'm going to watch the TV anime show, I will say I am watching Avatar: The Last Airbender. If I'm going to watch the really terribly done M. Night Shyamalan movie, which I will never say I will watch The Last Airbender. Or if I'm saying I want to watch James Cameron's Avatar, I will watch Avatar. They're three distinct titles. Use them. Don't be like, oh, so you don't watch that terrible movie, yeah? No, I'm not watching The Last Airbender. I'm watching Avatar. Okay, rant over. Avatar. I personally think it's one of the best visual effects movies ever made. Like, I think it's just, even sure, the story's not great, and the movie is really long, but I think I just get immersed in it way too much. I just love
Yeah,
it. That's one movie I'd
I've got.
choose: Zack Snyder's Justice League, and I think I'd actually want to show the Lord of the Rings extendeds, because those are really long movie, but like, I'd really love to show those movies to people for the first time, because that's the only way you can watch Lord of the Rings, because
Yeah,
the normal versions, they're good, but there's so much where you're like, well, this could have been added, this could have been done. Whereas if you just watch the extended, it's like you're getting the entire basic trilogy. Like, you're pretty much getting
yeah.
everything you could possibly want from
Um,
it. Yeah. So yeah, what
yeah.
about you? What are long movies
Um,
you'd want to play?
well, one is what I said before, Zodiac. It's a long
Yep.
movie, but it's so good.
Yep.
But I've got another one, and that is, it's a movie that I think it's exactly 3 hours long. The Green Mile, starring Tom Hanks, which is a movie I saw not too
Oh,
long ago.
yes.
I loved it. I remember I was expecting, all right, I'm hoping this doesn't feel long, and it really didn't.
It
It's
really
one of
went
those
so
movies that,
quickly. I
yeah,
only watched
and
that
it's one of those
recently as well.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that majority of the runtime does take place in one location, but it's
Mm-hmm.
about how they build on it, like the claustrophobia or just the amount of characters and story that they build in this one location. It's
Yeah.
so good. I love it.
Yeah, that's a great choice. I think that was a really, I only watched that recently myself for the first time, and I thought it was just absolutely spectacular. But I think I'm just trying to think of long movies that are really, really good.
I know one person will probably choose Endgame,
Yeah, a lot of
most
people would
likely.
choose. A lot of people would choose
Yeah,
Endgame. Um, like I don't have anything against Endgame. I just think that the whole fan base, the toxic fan base that Marvel has,
mm,
um, yeah, it just kind of ruined it a little for me after so many times seeing it. I think if like I rewatched it like months apart, I'd still enjoy it, but it's just not the perfect movie that most toxic Marvel fans make it out to be. It's
yeah,
it's it's still good. I'm not saying that it's not a good movie because I had bloody enjoyed it. But yeah. But I
yeah.
think that's the
Because a
thing
lot
with
of the
yeah, sorry, you go.
yeah. No, you go.
No, I've got nothing to say. Seriously.
Okay. It's just that a lot of toxic Marvel fans, they really fanboy over these movies, and it's the case with a lot of first reactions to Marvel movies, and it's that
Mm,
my majority of them will refuse to believe that a Marvel movie will be anything below okay. They're
yeah.
always saying it's good or it's amazing,
Yeah. And
and
it's just
they're
that's not
really
true.
just yeah,
We all saw
yeah,
Thor the Dark World. Admit it. It's a crap movie.
yeah. And
But
we all saw Captain Marvel,
don't
but a
even
lot of
mention
people
that.
do. A
Don't
lot of
mention
people
it.
do love that movie,
Don't
which
mention
is
it. I don't
and
care.
Venom.
Uh, uh, uh,
A lot of people love Venom, and I don't know why.
I don't understand. I don't like it at all.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
just
like it either.
it's such a bad movie. But anyway, I think you know what another one I think I'd really want to watch if we didn't have any restriction? The ultimate cut of
Yeah, what?
Watchmen. Feel like
Oh,
Watchmen would be such a good movie to watch. Like it's a very confronting movie. Like it's nothing like you think it would be, but it's so well made. Like I watched there's three cuts of it. There's the normal version, there's the director's cut, and then there's the ultimate cut. I think I'd show the director's cut because the only difference between that and the ultimate version is that there's an extra story that's animated and it's kind of boring and it really doesn't really do. I know it is, a nod to the comics, which is fair enough, and I completely applaud Zack Snyder for doing that. But I just think watch the ultimate cut once, watch the director's cut every time after if you want to rewatch it, but never watch the normal version. It's not that it's bad, it's just you could get so much more out of it with the extended cut or director's cut they call it.
yeah.
But I think have you seen Watchmen?
I saw one version of it. I gave it an 8. I'm not
That's
sure
not
what
bad.
version it was. It was on. I think it was just on Netflix, but I'm not sure whether
Oh,
or not
okay,
it
yeah.
was an original or the director's.
Cut, yeah.
Not
I
sure,
think
but I
that I
liked
think
it.
the one that was released on Netflix was the original. So I can understand why that was an 8. I did the same thing and then I was like, But then I went up to my uncle's place in uh somewhere else in Australia. I'm not going to disclose that location. But he sat me down, he's gone, all right, we're gonna watch the director's cut. Oh, no, sorry, no, we're gonna watch the ultimate cut in 3D. And we watched it in 3D and I was like, oh wow, that's a lot. And that was a long movie.
Wait,
I
with
think
like
that's
3D glasses on.
yeah. He's got a
How
3D
was it?
TV. It was good. It was good.
Oh, what?
Yeah, he's got a 3D
3D
TV. So
TV.
I watched I've seen like Suicide Squad 1 in 3D. I've seen the Hobbit movies in
Whoa,
3D. It was so cool.
that would
I
have been
actually
that
watched
would have been awesome.
I think I watched I think it was Star Wars
Force Awakens.
I think it was Force Awakens. I saw that no, it was Last Jedi because that was the only movie I hadn't seen from the
Oh
sequel
yeah,
trilogy in 3D. So he showed me Last Jedi. I was like, actually in 3D that movie is a lot better. But that's because it's 3D. It's not got
yeah,
anything to
because
do
it
with
just
whether the
looks
movie's
better.
good.
It's not better story wise
Yeah.
and
But
script wise.
I liked I think I really enjoyed watching Ultimate Cut at least once because that's a long movie. It's 3 hours and a half. Like it's really long. But whereas the director's cut is like I think 3 hours or 2 hours 50, including credits. But yeah. Um I'm trying to think of what else have you got any other movies floating around your head that you think you'd recommend to film club?
My next choice, I was gonna do Little Miss Sunshine, but
Oh, but we can watch that. We can watch that.
the teacher in that film club said he would do it,
Oh yeah,
and
true. That's right.
we both thought of it at the same time. But I was like, I'll give it to you because what he chosen. I will then make my next choice. 10 Things I Hate About You, which I watched recently as well, and that
Nice,
was like a
nice.
really really unique comedy and rom com that I enjoyed a lot. So
Yeah.
I'll choose that.
Um, I think I know that we have a lot of good film clubs that we laugh at. Like we watch Shrek 2 and B Movie, and we have a good laugh about that. But I think the funniest movie that we've ever watched at film club. Now, this is a serious thing. I don't want anyone judging this choice now, because our friend is a great friend. He isn't exposed to movies as much as we are, and he's more reserved in animated films, which is absolutely fair enough. That's completely more power to him. But he's a brony. He loves My Little Pony. So we watched My Little Pony the movie. Ended up, I'm going to be honest, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't going to be as bad. It wasn't as bad as I thought.
I didn't think it was boring. It wasn't good, but it wasn't just like, oh, I want to turn this off. Like,
I was actually kind of interested.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to watch it if I saw it, but if I was forced to, I wouldn't be upset.
Yeah, because it was actually kind of entertaining with the voice actors. But I think that was the best thing, because I'm gonna let you explain this. Tell me about it's this feud that you had with the teacher. Now, this isn't a feud in terms of, they actually had a fight or anything like that, or an argument. This was genuinely just a joke. Like, when you have joke fights with friends and stuff like that, call each other names and stuff. You had a big one with the teacher from My Little Pony. Do you want to tell the story? Do you remember?
Did I? No, I don't remember.
Who your favorite pony was? Was that you, or was that someone else in the club? Remember, you said
had one.
Yeah, because you said you had a favorite one, and he chose someone else, and you fought over it.
Oh no! Oh yeah. I don't know who he chose, but I chose Pinkie Pie. Wait, Pinkie I think Pie. I chose it.
Is it? Yeah, because I'm just checking. Now I'm looking at the movie, because he definitely he was so strong about the pony that he liked, and I couldn't stop laughing because you guys went for about 20 minutes over why you guys had different favorite characters.
I can't remember. I don't know if he chose
yours was
Twilight Spark.
No, yours was definitely Pinkie Pie. But I think he chose Tempest Shadow. I think he chose, which was Emily Blunt. Or did you say Rainbow Dash? It was either that or Rainbow Dash. I don't know, whoever.
Rainbow Dash.
But you guys went on. Dash. You guys went on for like 20 minutes about who the best pony was, and I couldn't. All of us were just watching you guys, going, "What the hell are they arguing about?" Because it's just it's so funny.
Oh, it was Rainbow Dash. I think it was Rainbow Dash.
That he chose or that you chose?
I think he chose Rainbow Dash. Now I remember.
Yeah, and you said Pinkie Pie.
I just looked at the tag now. Yeah,
why are we I can't believe we're actually talking about who our favorite ponies are from My Little Pony. This is not a representation. We're not bronies. And there's nothing wrong with being a brony. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying this is probably a topic that I probably would have led into, but not dwelled on. But yeah, we watch so many weird movies. But some are good, some are bad. But there's one movie that I really wish we could watch, and I think I mentioned it last week. Blade Runner 2049. That's one movie.
Oh yeah.
If not for the nudity, I would have found a way to get a sort of watch it, but because there's nudity and it's an imperative scene to kind of understand the movie. Yeah, I guess that's the thing, because this film club movie nights, I don't know what the impact it's had on you, Nick, but I've really had a big impact with this. It's given me something to look forward to every Friday night while in lockdown, to still kind of like connect with people that share the same values. Like you've kind of, well, not values, but like share common interests, if you know what I'm saying. But does film club have much of an impact on you or anything like that?
Like what you said before, it does give me something to look forward to every Friday night in lockdown. But I'm not it hasn't changed my life, but it has.
No, of course not. It's a group. It'd be very strange. Yeah. Oh, my film club just changed my life. I completely see everything differently.
But it has opened me up to a lot of different films that I've watched that I've loved or hated. But yeah, it's something that does actually lift my spirits quite a bit in lockdown. Gives me something to look forward to. It's a good part of the week. But yeah, that's the only impact I can really think of right now.
Yeah, me too. I think for sure, after we both graduate, we'll stay as friends for sure. And I think that'll be the same for the rest of the group as well. I don't think we'll
Yeah.
be one of those high school people that separate and never really get back in
Just
contact.
don't speak. Yeah.
Don't speak. Yeah. Sorry, I thought you meant don't
Like
speak.
in primary school.
I was like,
Like
oh,
those
am I
kids,
going completely
those
silent?
those kids you see in primary school who come to your high school, but then you never ever speak to each other again.
Yeah, it's so
Like
weird.
in your mind, you're like, I went to school with this dude, but I'm not gonna talk to him.
Well, for
And
me, it
it's
was the other thing. I was like, oh, great. I'm going to, same high school as my best friend. He completely forgot I existed.
well,
So I'm
it's
in year.
it's
I
not
was
just best
in year
friends as
7.
well. It's with other kids, and it's something that going back to Perks being wolf like. It's something that I love. That's why I relate to that movie a lot. Like in the opening, he's talking about all these kids and friends he had in his previous school that now would not even talk to him at all. Like they just look at him and they just ignore him.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's something that does really happen in real life. And I guess the point of that is we're just going to be, I think, one of those tight knit groups that stick together all the time and, probably do our own watch parties or Oscar watch parties or whatever. I think we just have we're going to be those types of people that stick together for life, I guess. Well, not maybe for life, but like we'll have a
Just
good
a long
time.
time.
Just a long time. Because
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done this podcast with you if I wasn't close to you. Like you're probably one of my closest friends. All the film club guys are close
Same
friends of
here.
mine. But it's nice to know that this group, not only is it a film club, it's more, just showing people that genuinely care about, the person you are.
Yeah.
I know this sounds really cliche, and I'm so sorry that this is a movie podcast and I'm going into kind of real life shenanigans here, but it's something, friends, you don't really realize that kind of thing, how important it is until not that they're going to be taken away or anything. You just don't realize how important it is to feel like you have friends until you need them. So I know that last year you made a really, really nice video for me for my birthday while I was in hospital.
Okay, you remember good.
Yeah, of course I remember. I've
No, it's because
saved that video.
I seen you the video, and I was expecting for you to reply, but you saw it. I
No,
could tell
because
that you saw it and you liked it,
yeah, I
but you didn't
saw
reply.
it. No. The reason I didn't reply is because I was on obviously heavy chemo, so I completely forgot that had been made. But then I saw it again when I got home and was recovering, and dude, that movie's so
it was like
that
3 days
video
or something before, and I was talking to the teacher on a Google Meet, and I was like, I think maybe I should do this, and so I didn't have to email. I tried to email and contact as many people as I could, and they sent videos in.
Yeah,
And
and I think that's one of the kindest things that anyone's ever done for me, if not the most the nicest thing anyone's done for me, because genuinely what am I trying to say? When you're stuck in hospital like that and you have nothing else to do and you're incredibly sick, things like that mean so much. And I still have that video saved, like, because you didn't delete it or anything, so it's still
it's still
on your
unlisted.
account. Yeah, it's still unlisted, but I downloaded it as like not downloaded it, but like I put it in my liked videos playlist. So then so it was just nice that people like you have that kind of selfless
and
nice things. So
there was
like
one teacher one teacher though, when I was expecting just videos of people saying happy birthday, hope you're good and that, but one teacher who is one of my favorite teachers in school, she really went all out. She sung, she got a costume and everything. That's like that was good to watch, because that's like dedication. That's very kind.
Well, it wasn't just dedication,
commitment.
It was just really nice. It's commitment. But it was just nice to receive that video, and that's all because of film club, I guess. I feel like we wouldn't really have been as close to each other if we didn't have film club. Like, honestly, I don't think I'd have known you if it wasn't for film club. And that would have,
I met you through film club, and I remember, I'm going to say this now.
Yeah.
The first few film clubs I went to, seeing you, how confident you were, how good of a relationship you had with everyone. Don't make me cry,
dude. If you're gonna comment, if you're gonna give me comments, I'm gonna cry, dude.
I'll say this. the first few months of being in that film club, your film club, I remember wanting. I was very shy and I did not know how to speak to anyone.
Yeah.
I really, really wanted to be friends with you, but I never knew how to like go up to you. You talked to me normally, and that was good. But I was like,
You
I
wanted
want
to
to
be
freaking talk
friends.
to this. I want to be friends. And then later that year, I think it was in the later part of the year, you would walk by me and you'd be like, "Oh, hey," and you remembered my name and everything. I was like, "Whoa!" And then it made me happy. And then
Yeah, because I
eventually,
saw you. You were just sitting eating your lunch alone. And
yeah, I didn't.
I was like,
Yeah,
Nick, I was like, you're from film club, yeah? And you were like, yeah. I said,
yeah,
come
and I
on. I
saw
said,
you.
yeah.
I
And
saw you and all your and your group of friends in this one spot. And I always looked up there and I was like, "Wow,
yeah.
I want to be up there." And then one day you're like,
And I
"Come
was
up
like,
here." And it was one
yeah,
of the best days
because,
ever.
yeah. And I said to you, I was just like, what are you doing? And you're like, oh, I'm just eating my lunch. And I said, oh, have you got anything? I said, I remember specifically saying to you, have you got anywhere to go for lunch today? And you were like, no, not really. I think I'm just going to go to the library or something.
Oh,
And I was like, no, 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 no. I said, that's not happening. I said, come up and meet, properly meet the guys. And then you just automatically became part of, that group. And
yeah, I'm
it
glad.
wasn't just to include you or anything. It was more like we genuinely wanted to, get to know you as well. Not as, like you never told me any of that. I just genuinely thought that, I want to make friends with this bloke because you were nice. You weren't, like we had people that were coming to film club, especially early on, that just would muck around and just yell things, and it was just annoying. It was a bit of a
There were
mess.
two different film clubs, and one was made the one that you did not host
Yeah,
is a lot more chaotic than the one you
yeah,
do host. The one you host, everyone gets
yeah,
involved. But the other one, no offense, but
and
it is a bit more chaotic.
yeah, it was a bit more chaotic. And now it's just our teacher running it, that one now, and it's not as
Yeah, and he's
chaotic
good.
anymore. But being able to have mine and just have people that care enough to go to film club, but not enough to go to the movie nights. It's nice to have that kind of community that, not cares, but more wants to do something and get involved. And I think that's a nice thing. And I think that's why the film club community is so well, you know, kept together. And I
Yeah,
think everyone, no one really mucks around or anything like that. And I just think that's nice. And yeah, I think we've all developed friendships over the last, couple of years, and
yeah.
I'll only be there for one more year at school. So
I
yeah,
think this
I'll
is our
only be there.
deepest podcast yet.
Legit,
This is
not
the
kidding.
deepest we've gone.
Yeah, this is what, episode 4, and we're already getting into this
Wholesome
kind of things.
moments.
So I apologize to all our listeners if you do not care one bit about our stories and how we met each other and things. This is not how I was planning it to go, but I guess that's just how, the conversation goes. It doesn't have to always be about film, even though it started off. I feel like it's just, if the discussion flows on to something new, why not? Why not continue on with it? But I know we're probably getting quite long again, but yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything else you want to talk about? Because I'm absolutely fine to, talk about
Um,
more things if you want, but it's up to you, mate.
I don't think so. Not sure there's anything I could add on today.
No, I think
I
I'm
think
the
we're good.
same. I think we're good. Yeah, I think it's a good one. I
That's
think
a wrap.
that's probably a wrap. So thank you everyone so much for tuning in. I know this is only on YouTube, but hopefully next week we will be back with episode 5, which will technically be episode 4 on Spotify next week when we get our renewal. So we are very excited to be back on Spotify once again. We do love both our YouTube listeners and our Spotify listeners, but we're so glad that you're still with us and that you're still listening. It's nice to hear from people that they're liking the podcast. If you have anything that you want us to talk about, feel free to leave a comment. We'd love to talk about anything. I know that we're going to talk about Pixar and Star Wars and Disney soon, but we're also going to talk about Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez, and Kevin Smith either next week or the week after, which is very exciting. And yeah, I think that's it. So I think I'm going to sign off. I'm going to say that this is Kier's Reviews and Nick's Film Reviews.
Nick's
Thank you
Film
for coming
Reviews.
on again. I really appreciate it, you coming on.
Thank you for having me. All
Please
good.
support him on Instagram if you can. It's just Nick's Film Reviews, I'm pretty sure. Is that that's your tag, which is good?
Yep, Nick's Film Reviews, all lowercase.
All lowercase, all one word. I think you guys, he writes really great reviews. So check it out, please. I think they'd be incredible. Anyway, I'm going to sign off. Thank you everyone for listening, and we will see you next week. This is Kiers Reviews signing off for now.